Anyone else think it's pretty telling about the state of the movieverse that one of the most highly anticipated movie toys is for a character and a version of that character that didn't actually make it into the films? Just properly start again. Just start again.
Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
Holy smackerel. This figure hasn't come to play, he's come to win. Look at this, would ya? This deco is just sublime. That deep red with the matte black, like that kind of carbon black finish, and then with the metallic silver, especially on that chest plate, that just really works. And the fact that in areas like, you know, all over him really, but when you look at like the wrists, the legs, the abdomen, the shoulders, they've done a really good job of breaking up that whole color scheme so that he feels incredibly intricate and involved. It's almost got the look of being like, you know, a Yellow Park model kit or something like that, as opposed to a mainline Hashtag Transformer. Even on the gun, they've picked out some little bits.
Little bits.
I think it's also worth noting that there is not a hollow point to be found on him. The only place where the deco isn't working for me is the way they've gone full Destro on his head. I really do think if the bucket and faceplate had have been different colors, you'd actually be able to see what you're looking at more. As it is now, all in that one color, it's a bit like, bro, is your face a French horn? I think your face is a French horn. And also, I find the cherry eyes are sitting a little flat.
I got cherry eyes.
Do love that they threw in the monobrow though. Aside from the unknowable nature of his face, all the other surface detailing is so intricate and incredible, and all the paneling is so good that it really does have that Bumblebee movie flavor where he still feels like an armored robot. Like, it doesn't feel like you could just stick a broom handle into them and just ruin all of their internal workings. He doesn't have the naked look that so many Bayverse figures have. As well as looking the part, he can really bust a move. So that head is on a very generous ball joint, because more and more now I find they're giving figures a little bit of a collar piece, which extends the range of motion that you can get out of that head. Shoulders come all the way up, all the way around. He has a slight backwards butterfly and a dope forwards butterfly. He's got elbows that pull just beyond a 90. A little bit of flex on the wrist. Okay, so you got bicep swivel, upper wrist swivel, wrist swivel. I don't remember the last time that happened. It allows for some incredibly natural looking movement, as well as having some of the most finely articulated fingers I've seen in a very long time. Those three at the knuckle, that index finger independently, and they collapse all the way down, so he can still make a really good fist. Elliot. Then he's got a really unimpeded waist swivel, universals at the hips, which seem like they're impeded, but all of these skirt pieces, including that colossal codpiece butterfly, move so that you can get really good range of motion out of those hips. And just, you know, as you position him, reposition that crotch butterfly.
これは鳩ですか?
Thigh swivel, and a really generous knee bend. Then he's got back and forwards on the feet, and quite an impressive tilt, which all in all has to make him one of the most eminently posable leader figures that we've come across in a little while. And it all feels really fluid. It's natural. It's really natural movement. You're going to be able to get him into whatever Autobot destroying shapes you need him to throw in any particular moment. Accessory wise, he obviously comes with his patented fusion cannon. And in what is a fantastic move, it's actually on one of like the tightest 5mm peg ports I've ever seen on a Megatron, which is a really welcome thing, because so often as you're posing around a Megatron figure, I don't know how else to say it other than he gets a floppy cannon. And another interesting move with this particular cannon, if you fold out this piece, flip it up and around, it'll notch in here. Then you can twist the barrel, fold the barrel in two places, which will also notch in if you've twisted it just right. And he actually has weapon storage on the back, where you can tab in that cannon on either side. Or, in fact, either way. It's not something I see myself doing very often, but it's a cool feature nonetheless. I don't know what it is about this Megatron, but I can't not hear Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice coming out of him. Why throw away your life so recklessly? I'll tear out your optics. You're an idiot, Starscream.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
So this figure really is beyond comparison, but I feel obligated to give it a red hot go. Here he is alongside a couple of his Deceptor dudes, and honestly, his deco and sculpt and articulation and everything is so lush that these two just feel so under-realized by comparison that it's hard to believe that they're part of the same line. Especially Starscream. This Megatron feels very much like a return to form for the Studio Series. Here he is with the only other Studio Series Megatron I have, from the Darkest timeline. Much bigger, but also much sadder. And again, what he might lack in size, they've made up for with finesse. Here he is with a couple of quite nervous looking Optimus Primes. I can see a scenario where Bumblebee movie Prime, with skill and tenacity, could take him, but Rise of the Beast Prime surely stands no chance. And lastly, here he is surrounded by a bunch of Autobots who should be super glad that they only had to deal with him conceptually as opposed to in reality. And I can't remember if I said whether or not his cannon was blast effect compatible.
No! Such heroic nonsense.
As I'm sure you're undoubtedly aware, this Megatron is indeed a triple changer, but I'm gonna blow through this transformation process quicker than Megatron through the back of Ironhide's head, because it's a bit like a DC movie. It's long and tedious, and when you get to the end of it, it's pretty questionable whether or not it was even worth it. Looking at this tank mode, he really is a robot in disguise, because it does a fantastic job of disguising how good he is in robot mode. I don't think that you would look at this and be like, oh yeah, well that's bound to have a phenomenal robot mode. Alright, so that took me, IRL, like a full 10 minutes, and admittedly that was my first time transforming him, but hot damn, I'm sweating. And believe it or not, you can actually rotate that turret and tilt it up. That looks less good. So I could understand if you thought that from here, jet mode would be a relatively quick and easy thing to get into, but it's not. It's just as long and convoluted, so let's speedrun this again. Well, that was stupid, it took forever, and I hate it. If any of his copious joints and swivels and anything, like... God, even just touching it, it's falling apart. Maybe with like a few more goes, you'd be able to eventually finesse it, but I don't know if it's worth it, right? Very loosely a flying something. It looks more like Devastator's chest piece than anything else, right? Boo. Look, I'll level with you. This would have to be pretty hot damn close to being my favorite movieverse figure. The design is just really cool. The one aspect that I lament a little is that faceplate being the same color as the bucket. Would have been nice if they mixed that up a little bit. Otherwise, he's truly phenomenal. The real crime here is that we didn't actually get to see this bad boy in any of the films. All in all, if you're on the fence about this figure, which I can't imagine too many of us are, get your hands on him when the opportunity presents itself, because he is some next level transforming robot action. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz if you haven't already. Thank you to those that have, and be sure to hit me up in the comments below. Are you going to get him? Have you managed to get him? What are we thinking about him? I want to know. Let's get nerdy with it. Catch.